guys, it's Miss Sherlyn with the Wayne County Public Library, and today we're going to talk about winter and snow. So this book I'm just showing you. We're not going to read it, we're going to look at some snowflakes. So, here's some pretty little snowflakes. A good cold winter day. The speck, and then here's some different pictures of snowflakes. They're all different. I thought that was super cool. Some look like stars. And there's one in actual life. I thought that was neat. And this is what they kind of look like. That way they look like one side, the other side, that's all you'll see. And then if you look at it under a microscope, and there's a pretty snowflake and a different one. They can have different looks to them. Those are really pretty. Anyway, this is written by Mark Cassino, and it is published by, I think it's Chronicle Kids, just to give them the credit because they wrote the book. Chronicle Books is who published this, and it is written by Mark Cassino and John Nelson, and the illustrations or pictures are by Nora Aguilera. There's our cool little book, and then we're going to talk about winter. So this cool poster that shows you what most animals are doing in the wintertime. So over here we have a little box turtle, and it's hibernating, which means it just sleeps for a little long period of time. Not a little, long period of time. So they usually go to bed, I'd say, in the fall, or right around in November, and then they'll come back out in the spring. So you've got your frog, we have carp down here, we have our chipmunks, our skunks, salamanders, toads, woodchuck, garter snakes, and brown bats. And they're all asleep right now, which is probably good because they can't bother us. So our first book of the day is The Snowy Day, and it is written by Ezra Jack Keats. We have some more pictures of pretty snowflakes. And it is published by Penguin Young Readers. One winter morning, Peter woke up and looked out the window. Snow had fallen during the night. It covered everything as far as he could see. We've already had 2 snows by now, so I'm sure you all have went outside and played in it. And hopefully we'll get a little bit more. After breakfast, he put on his snowsuit and ran outside. The snow was piled up very high along the street to make a path for walking. Crunch, 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 his feet sank into the snow. He walked with his toes pointing out like this. He walked with his toes pointing in like that. Then he dragged his feet slowly to make tracks, and he found something sticking out of the snow that made a new track. It was a stick that was just right for smacking a snow-covered tree. Down fell the snow, plop on top of Peter's head. He thought it would be fun to join the big boys in their snowball fight, but he knew he wasn't old enough. Not yet. So he made a smiling snowman, and he made angels. I'm sure you all have done that whenever it snowed. He pretended he was a mountain climber. He climbed up a great, big, tall, heaping mountain of snow and then slid all the way down. He picked up a handful of snow and another and still another. He packed it round and firm and put the snowball in his pocket for tomorrow. Then he went into his warm house. He told his mother about all of his adventures while she took off his wet socks. And he thought and thought and thought about them. Before he got into bed, he looked into his pocket. His pocket was empty. The snowball wasn't there, and he felt very sad. While he slept, he dreamed that the sun had melted all the snow away. But when he woke up, his dream was gone. The snow was still everywhere. New snow was even falling. After breakfast, he called out to his friend from across the hall, and they went out together into the deep, deep snow. The end. There's our more snowflakes. I hope you liked that story. I thought it was super cute. Okay, for our next thing we're going to do, can you show me your hands? We're going to do mitten weather. So usually you would wear gloves or mittens whenever you go outside because it's super cold. So we're going to show our hands and wiggle them. Good job. So we have thumbs in the thumb place. We're going to act like we're putting on our mittens. Thumbs in the thumb place. Fingers all together. This is the song we sing in mitten weather. Doesn't matter whether they're made of wool or leather. Thumbs in the thumb place, fingers all together. This is the song we sing in mitten weather. So our next story that we have is one of my favorites. We're going to count by twos. So we have a squirrel and a bird. So we have 1, 2, and it's super cute. It's Footprints in the Snow, and it is written by Michael Dahl, and the pictures are illustrated by Todd Irwin. And it is published by Picture Window Books. 2 footprints in the snow across the field. Where do they go? Four footprints in the snow down the hill. Where do they go? Six footprints in the snow into the woods. Where do they go? 8 footprints in the snow under the branches. Where do they go? 10 footprints in the snow over the bridge. Where do they go? 12 footprints in the snow in between the bushes. Where do they go? If you look really close, we have the number 12 over here. For tree branch. 14 footprints in the snow past the snowman. Where do they go? And if you look closely, we have number 14 over here in his little arm. 16 footprints in the snow along the log. Where do they go? 18 footprints in the snow behind the berries. Where do they go? 20 footprints in the snow through the gate. Where do they go? Do you see where the footprints are going? I think they're going up to get into the house. We have 20 on the gate down here. Footprints stop outside the door. Come in, warm up, then we'll make some more. That was a super cute little book. So our next book, you're going to have to help me count. We have 10 sparkly snowflakes. So 10, we have 5, and 5 more is 10. And it's published by Tiger Tales. So 10 sparkly snowflakes softly fall and float past Bear's big tree. Where's my hat and scarf, he cries. I'm going out to ski. Okay, we have 9 mice. So we have 5, and then we have 4. That's 9. The mice are snuggled in their nest as 9 snowflakes drift past. We want to go outside, they sing. The snow is falling fast. 8. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 teeny snowflakes flutter past the antlers on Deer's head. Hip hip hooray! Now I can play with my brand new shiny sled. In his warm burrow, Rabbit sees 7 soft snowflakes fall. I just can't wait, he thinks aloud, to make a big snowball. So we have 5, 6, 7. 6, so we have 5 and one more 6. Hedgehog, he hides beneath some leaves as 6 snowflakes skitter by. This snow is so much fun, he squeals as he looks up to the sky. 5 snowflakes drift past the den where Squirrel is snuggled tight. I hope it keeps on snowing hard. It might just snow all night. 4 more shiny snowflakes fall, and Fox chuckles. This is great. Look at this winter wonderland. I'm gonna go out to skate. 3 Owl spies 3 gleaming snowflakes fall as he sits in his tree. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo, he flaps and hoots. I'm as happy as can be. 2 snowflakes flutter past the dam where playful beavers hide. Just look at all this soft white snow. We love to be outside. 1 robin sits on his frosty perch as one last snowflake falls. It's time to have some snowy fun, and he flaps around and calls. At last the sky is clear and blue. The friends come out to play. They all make a smiling snowman on this perfect winter day. There's Robin again. That's the end. It's illustrated by Russell Julian and published by Tiger Tales. All right, next little thing we're going to do, can you act like your hand's a snowflake? We're going to act like it's a snowflake. Good job. So we're going to wave it about, go back and forth, up and down if you want to. Good job. The itsy bitsy snowflake fell down from the sky. It landed on my nose and it bounced on my eye. It slid down my chin and it landed on my tongue. Then it melted all away, and now my snowflake song is done. Our next little story we have is written by Kevin Hinkes, and it's illustrated by Laura Dronzik, and it's Winter's Here. I love the pictures in this book. It's one of my favorite books. It's published by Green Willow Books, an imprint of HarperCollins Books. Winter is here. It's everywhere. I think it is everywhere here. It's falling from the sky. And sitting on the houses and dripping from the roofs. And sticking to the trees in clumps and curls. Winter is reaching through the branches and crouching in doorways. And setting here and there, softly, so softly. But winter can be hard too. Ice covers the pond. The leaves underneath are like stars in glass. It can take a long time to get ready for winter. Boots and zippers and vests and zippers and jackets and zippers and hats and snaps and scarves and mittens. Winter's outside, of course, but it's nice inside too. Feathering the window and dusting the dog and sitting on the table. without a sound, and it comes with many. The wind howls in every language, and the windows rattle. Winter is white and gray, but with the dark of night, winter is blue. Blue, blue, deep blue, and even colder. Winter comes, and then it stays, and stays, and stays. And when it's time to leave, winter shrinks away bit by bit. It slows down, getting smaller, drying up, slipping down the street, around the corner, peeking back, and then moving on, out into the world, into the air, into spring. I think there's a lot of us that can't wait for spring. That's the end. I hope you like that book. And we have some cute little butterflies, different from our mittens. I hope you enjoyed that cute book. Our next little thing we're going to do, can you put your hands way up high? Way up high. Good job. Way up high in the winter sky, two little snowflakes caught my eye. Down to the ground they fell without a sound, and before long it was snowing all around. Just going crazy. Okay, our next book is Good Morning Snowplow, and it is written by Deborah Burris. The art, so the illustrations and pictures are by Louis Fancer and Steve Johnson. And it is published by Arthur A. Levine Books, an imprint of Scholastic Incorporated. Goodnight farms and goodnight town, teeny flakes start twirling down. Goodnight playground turning white, goodnight snowplow? Not tonight. Start the engine, try the lights, check both signals, left, then right. Fill the hopper, test the brakes. Driver's ready, wide awake. Chains are down, it's time to go. Roads will soon be blocked with snow. Drop the plow, extend the wing. Giant drifts won't melt till spring. Strobe on top sweeps round and round. Frosted branches touch the ground. Waves of white curl off the blade. In its wake a trail is laid. How's the road? A little slick? Salt and sand mixed does the trick. Lonely plowing all night long. Tune the dial and sing a song. Windshield wipers keeping time. Washers squirt to clear all the grime. Car approaches much too fast. Slipping and sliding zips on past. Digging out will be tough going. Call the dispatch, car needs a towing. Wind picks up and whirls the snow. It's a whiteout, take it slow. Watch the flags and feel the road. Push on with your heavy load. Snow keeps falling fast and deep. Miles to plow before you sleep. Pay attention what's ahead. Take no chances. Stop instead. Step outside and look around. All is hushed, not a sound. Clean the lights in front and back. Hear what's coming down the track. Front light leading, barely glowing. Engine chugging but not slowing. Cloud of white grows as it nears. Train blows by and disappears. Scrape and salt and sand all night. Soon the sky is streaked with light. Wake up farms, wake up town. No more snowflakes swirling down. School is canceled, playground covered. Bright new day to be discovered. Roads it's no longer buried deep. Good morning, snowplow. Time to go to sleep. I hope you enjoyed that story. That was super cute. Alright, next little thing we're going to do. We're going to act like snow is falling down. So you can use your hands again if you want to. Snow on my forehead. So you can act like your hand is a snowflake. Snow on my forehead. Snow on my knee. Snow on my glasses. Well, act like I have glasses. Snow on my glasses. It's getting so hard to see. Snow on my shoes. Snow in my hair. Snow on my mittens. And then snow is just everywhere. Our next story we have is Froggy Builds a Snowman. And it's such a cute little story. So Froggy's going to build a snowman. It is written by Jonathan London, and the pictures are illustrated by Frank Reminquist. And it is published by Viking Books. It was cold. Froggy woke up and looked out the window. It's snowing, it's snowing, sang Froggy. And today is the Winter Carnival. Froggy, called his mother. What? It's time to get dressed, dear. This year you're not sleeping through the Winter Carnival. Yay, said Froggy. And he imagined the snowman he would make, Super Frog, with a cape hanging from his neck. Then he hopped out of bed and got dressed, and he even remembered to pull on his long underwear, which is like PJ pants. Zap, 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 zap. And he flopped to the kitchen for breakfast. Flop, flop, flop. But Froggy, said Dad, why are you wearing your coat and cap and mittens and scarf? So I don't miss the bus, said Froggy. And he ate his bowl of cereal and flies, munch, crunch, munch. And then he jumped up and flopped to the school bus, flop, flop, flop. Have fun, said Mom and Dad. At school, where the Winter Carnival was, Froggy was first off the bus. Flop, flop, flop. And he was the first to make a snow angel. Swish, swish, swish. Then he started to build a snowman. Froggy, called the principal, Mr. Mugwort. What? First, we're ice skating. Yippee, everybody yelled and raced to put on their ice skates. But Froggy didn't know how to ice skate. He skated like a seasick chicken. Flap, flap, flap. Oops, cried Froggy, falling. And Max and Frogolina fell over him. Splat, splat, splat. Now I'm building a snowman, said Froggy, sitting up. No, said Mr. Mugwort. Now we're sledding. Yippee, everybody yelled, and Froggy and his friends raced up the slope with their sleds. But Froggy didn't know how to sled. He zoomed down and smacked into Max. Oops, splat. And they rolled out of their sleds and into the snow, laughing like crazy. Now, said Froggy, jumping up, I'm making a snowman. No, said Mr. Mugwort. Now we're making a snow fort. Yippee, everybody yelled, and Froggy and his friends pushed and piled and packed snow into a big snow fort. Cool, said Froggy. Now let's have a snowball fight. Froggy, called Mr. Mugwort. What? Now, said Mr. Mugwort, it's time to build a snowman. Yippee, yelled Froggy, and all of his friends yelled with him. And they rolled snow into big balls, zum, 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 and everyone built a snowman. Max built a snowman that looked like a beaver chewing on a carrot. Matthew built a snowman that looked like a turtle wearing a ski cap. Travis built a snowman that looked like a bear with mittens instead of claws. And Frogolina built a snowman that looked like Froggy, looking goofy. Nice, said Mr. Mugwort, looking at all the snowmen. Now, let's see what Froggy made. Well, Froggy had planned to build a super frog, but oh no. He had forgotten to bring his superhero cape. So Froggy built a snowman that looked like a dinosaur with carrot teeth, Roar, went Froggy, and everyone roared with him. Roar! Snowball fight, yelled Froggy, and Froggy made a snowball and threw it at Mr. Mugwort. Thwack! It smacked him in the chest. Oops, cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. Mr. Mugwort wiped the snow off his coat and glared at him. Then he made a snowball and yelled, "Let the snowballs fly!" Yippee! Everybody yelled, and some ran into the snow fort, some hid behind trees, and the snowballs did fly. Thwack, thwack, thwack! That was my best winter carnival ever, said Froggy. That was your only winter carnival ever, said Max, and everybody laughed. Even Froggy's snowman, it roared with laughter. Ha 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 ha! The end. I hope you enjoyed that story. Our next thing we're going to do is, can you bring up your left arm and make it into a tilt so it looks like it forms a hill, and we're going to do your other arm the right way. So you're going to make like a hill or a mountain, whatever you want to call it. We'll call it. I'm going to call it a hill, you can call it a mountain. Here is a hill, and here's a hill, all covered with snow. I put my coat on, and I jump into my sled, and zoom down the hill I'll go. Okay, our next to last story is the mitten. So in your bag this week, you'll get a little mitten that you'll get two of them. Two mittens that you can color and decorate, and they're super cute, and they go with this story. The mitten, it is adapted and illustrated by Jan Brett, and it is published by G&P Putnam & Sons. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother Baba did not want to knit white mittens. If you drop one in the snow, she warned, you'll never find it. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. After she finished, she said, when you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you still have your snow white mittens. So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long until one of his new mittens dropped into the snow and was left behind. A mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm, and just the right size, so he decided to stay. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. It was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in, feet first. The mole didn't think there was room for the both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Next, a hedgehog came shuffling along. Having spent the whole day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. The mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being the ones to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made the room. As soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in, also the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, his little feet, they quickly let him in. Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him the thumb. So he's got the thumb. It started snowing, but the animals were snug in the mitten. A waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting by stopped to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy. The fox poked his muzzle in. When the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw all his shiny teeth, they gave the fox plenty of room. A great big bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten all plumped up. Not being one to want to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as they could be. But what animal would argue with a bear? Would you? I wouldn't. The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and bulged to many times its size. But Baba's good knitting held fast. So it held together and stayed together. Along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wiggled into one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Ha, ha, achoo! The force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered all the animals in all directions. On his way home, Nicky saw a white shape in the distance. It was the lost mitten, silhouetted against the blue sky. As he ran to catch his snow-white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First she looked to see if he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. But she looked kind of puzzled as to why one might be bigger than the other. And I hope you like that story. We have one more story, but first, before we do that, we're going to do the winter hokey pokey. So we're going to act like we have mittens on. We're going to put our boots on, if you can have a picture boots on. We're going to put a hat on, like I have a hat on. And then we're going to put our coat on. So here we go. You put your mitten in, you put your mitten out, you put your mitten in, and you shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Okay, our second thing, we're going to put our boots. You put your boots in, you put your boots out, you put your boots in, and you shake them all about. You do the winter pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Our next thing, we're going to put our hat on. You put your hat in, you put your hat out, you put your hat in, and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Our last thing, we're going to put our coat in. You put your coat in, you put your coat out, you put your coat in, and you shake it all about. You do the winter pokey, and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. Okay, our last story for today is Snow Friends, and it's so sparkly. Snow Friends, and it is written by M. Christina Butler and Tina McLaughlin. And it is published by Good Books. We have a sparkly little snowman. Little Bear woke early from his deep winter sleep. As he yawned and stretched, he looked out of the bear cave and he gasped. The world was covered with a thick white blanket sparkling in the sunshine. Oh, he cried, snow! And he rushed out to play. Little Bear went rolling and skidding down the hillside, racing faster and faster. He rushed through the trees, shaking the branches to make teeny white snowstorms. He stomped and stamped in the crunchy snow, making trails of footprints that circled and twirled. Little Bear climbed up a hill and gazed out at all the whiteness. The mountains and forests were still and silent. He looked around for someone to play with, but he couldn't see anyone, anywhere. "Hello!" he cried. "Hello!" came back his echo, but no one else replied. Little Bear was all alone. "Oh dear," he sighed. "If only I had someone to play with." And he fell with a plop into a big snowdrift. But then Little Bear had an idea. He began to make a snowball bigger and bigger. If I make a really big snowball, he thought, I could build a snowman and then I would have someone to play with. So he rolled and rolled a shiny round snowman body until it was nearly as big as he was. Little Bear was so busy with his snowball that he didn't see Otter swimming across the lake. "Hello!" cried Otter, racing up. "What are you doing?" "I'm making a snowman." "The best snowman ever," replied Little Bear. "Wow," said Otter, "that sounds like fun. Can I help?" "That would be so great," said Little Bear. So they pushed and they puffed until they couldn't roll the snowball any further. It'd have to be one big snowball. Little Bear and Otter stopped for a rest, but just then they heard a muffled voice. "Hey, what's going on?" it cried. "Everything's gotten dark." "My snowball's talking," squeaked Little Bear. "No," laughed Otter. "The noise is underneath. Quick." And they pushed together as hard as they could until the big snowball creaked away to one side. A rabbit popped up from his burrow. "Who turned off the light?" he said madly. "Sorry," said Little Bear. "We're building the best snowman ever. And it got stuck on top of your burrow," giggled Otter. "Funny snowman," said Rabbit, laughing. "It doesn't even have a head." "We haven't made his head yet," said Little Bear. "You can help if you'd like." So Rabbit helped to make the snowman's big head and gave him a big happy smile. Then Otter went back to the river for some sticks. Little Bear found a few nuts left in his winter store, and Rabbit picked out the very best carrot from his pantry. They built the snowman together with Otter's sticks for arms and the nuts from Little Bear's store for his eyes. Finally, Rabbit climbed onto Little Bear's shoulders and pushed the carrot nose into place. Otter laughed and cheered. "Hooray! The best snowman ever was finished." For the rest of the day, they played with the snowman in the snow. They played hide and seek and chase, and huge snowball fights left them giggling and gasping for breath. At last, as the sky turned orange and the sun set, the three friends talked about what games they would play the next day. "Let's go exploring," said Rabbit. "But what about the snowman?" said Little Bear. "We can't leave him all on his own." "Let's build him our friend then," said Otter. So they rolled and patted and shaped some more until they made a perfect little snowman. By the time they had finished, the stars were twinkling in the sky. Tired and happy, they crashed in a heap and watched with wonder as the snowman and his friend turned to silver in the moonlight. "He's the best snowman in the world," whispered Little Bear. "And he'll never be lonely now that he has a friend," said Otter. "Yes," Rabbit smiled, "just like us." The end. I hope you enjoyed that little cute story. So my next book that I'm going to show you just has some ideas in it that you can do. So if you're at home, you can make some snow crystals by cutting paper into little cute snowflakes like so. Or you can make winter water, and it's just a jug of water and you add blue food coloring. And then there's some cute little white pictures for winter. And this book is written by Jane Burden and Kim Taylor. And it is published by Garth Stevens Publishing, Milwaukee. And if you're interested in this, you can call us and we will get it for you. That way you can see what's all in the back. And our craft bags for this week. So, the craft bags for this week have in them some cute little matching up of a snowflake. You have to match them. We have Fresh in the Snow, where you just write down whenever the snow is fresh and deep, we wouldn't dare waste our time asleep. And then you write down whatever you do in the snow. Then we have the Snowy Day word search that went with our Snowy Day book. Then we have some favorite wintertime activities that you can write down what you love to do during the wintertime. And there's our mittens we discussed. You can color these and put them together. And then we also have a snowflake that you will get in your bag and a snowball. So I hope you all enjoy this week and make sure you tune in next week for penguins.